Here we go again. I don't know. I have trouble with this thing, keeps flicking out. Anyway, now the button's gone for turning the camera, reversing the camera. I wanted to talk to you about fasting. I don't know. I might look old and had it at the moment, but I'm in a lot better condition now than I was a few months ago. A few months ago, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I had no balance, I couldn't swallow, and I had very poor vision. It was just a double vision, and it was all thanks to a blood clot. And I was in hospital, so I suffered a stroke, in other words. So 1 minute I'm super fit, super healthy, no conditions at all, and I was on no medication whatsoever. The next thing was like a light switch went off, and I was in a mess. And I found myself in hospital, not being able to talk, not being able to swallow, very poor vision, no balance, couldn't stand up, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. And the right hand side of my face was all drooped down, my whole face was twisted, really distorted. And my whole left side of my body, I had no feeling. I couldn't feel anything in my hands, my body. When they were jabbing me all the time, I couldn't feel it. And my legs. But what I put it down to is fasting. Fasting, I don't know, but this is what happened to me. They couldn't get any tubes down my nose. I ended up with a couple of blood noses. And they couldn't get a tube down my throat because everything was tight and restricted. And I just lay on the bed for a couple of days, and then they had another go at getting the tubes down, and then they managed to get a tube down my nose, and I think that was about 5 days after. But they did put me on some sort of saline drip. So I actually didn't have any sort of food for, I don't know, because I was in a bit of a mess, but it was at least 3 days. And then after that, they got a tube down my nose, and I was on some sort of slops that was fed into my stomach. But I put it all down to the fact that my body, I could be wrong, but my body wasn't in a feed mode, it was in repair mode, and it had a chance to repair. I'm only judging it from the other people in the same ward as me. There was another guy who was a lot younger, came in. When I left 10 days later, he was still like a distorted, twisted up, couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't eat, and he was just spoon fed. Where I just stood up and hung onto the bed. I had tubes hanging out of me and cords off me everywhere, but I didn't want to go there. And anyway, they were filling me up with medication. And as soon as I left the hospital and I got home, I still couldn't walk very well, and I still had bad vision, and my talking was pretty crap. I was struggling to get a word out, and I couldn't stand up without hanging onto something. So I decided I would do the fasting more. So I'd done a 3-day fast. Then I ate a few things for maybe 24 hours, and then I fasted more. And then when your body is letting you down, or you're letting your body down by probably what you're eating or what you're doing, letting happen to it. So everyone was looking at the cause. Oh, this happened because of that, this and that. I was looking at a solution, and fasting seemed to be helping me. So then over the next few months, I fasted, intermittent fasting. Normally I'd do 18 hours, but also I would do the 2-day fast or a 3-day fast, maybe each week for the first month when I got out. And now I've continued, and my health has recovered. I can't complain. And I put it down to the fasting. But what happens is, when you start paying attention and looking after your health, then you start looking at what you eat. So then, now I don't know if I can turn this camera around. I started paying attention, because when you haven't eaten for 3 days, you're pretty fussy what you're going to eat. and you need a toilet pretty handy if you eat the wrong thing. So the things that didn't agree with me, I'll show you. If I can turn this camera around. Where's this? Where is this button here? Oh, this thing's letting me down again. I can't see where the mark is. Anyway, I'll turn it around this way. So these are the things that I decided I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat chocolates, any carbohydrates, anything with sugar, processed food. I decided I'd give it all a miss. And one thing that I did decide I needed, because my gut was in a mess after all the medication that I was put on medication, and then you're on medication because that medication causes a problem, and then you're on some other medication because that causes a problem. So when I got out of hospital 10 days later, I decided I'm not taking nothing, and I didn't, and I cut back. But one thing that I did take was I made sure I had some probiotics. Can you see that? Gee, where's the camera? You know, different forms of food that's got probiotics in it. And I don't know, I put fasting down to give me my life back. So things that I liked, that I ate, that made me feel good, was olive oil. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know why this camera, I can't reverse it. Oh, so what happens is you start reading and then you really pay attention to your diet. Oh, so I only eat grass-fed meat. I know you can see that. It's actually quite expensive. I don't take no medication at all. The only vitamin I do take is this quercetin, and I like to have a few different herbs. Turmeric and cayenne pepper is very good for blood clots and keeping your blood. And you know, there's a few different herbs and things that I do take. Olives I find super good. The only trouble with olives and olive oil, there's a lot of omega-6 in it. So then when you have the right nuts, this is rich in omega-3. These are super good for your zinc. And then the dates cover a lot, and the olives. And then I just have butter. I avoid all trans fats. I like my greens. This is just greens that I grow in our own yard. And then bananas are excellent. Avocados. So the other thing that I do look at, I did start checking my pH level and tried to keep my pH level right. And avocados, and I'm lucky that I've got my own chooks. So I'm fussy pretty well what I feed my chooks, and then I'm fussy what I eat. And anyway, I just thought I'd pass that on to you. So how many times you read a story with somebody's well, there was a story I read where a lady, she just ate or juiced heaps of carrots up. Well, carrots are rich in vitamin A and it's stored in your body. But if she was doing that, she must have been looking at everything else she was consuming too. But it was a success story. She beat cancer and ended up very healthy and got her life back together. So, I don't know, what you eat is super important, but giving your body time to rebuild and go into repair mode. There's a million things on the web that you can look up. So, you know, after so many hours, your stomach has a chance to regenerate and then your inflammation starts to go down and your growth hormones boost up and everything else. And the biggest benefit is it costs you nothing to do a fast. And you can just try it slowly. You can just try 12 hours and then do 18, and then next thing you enjoy not having your body overloaded and your stomach not burping and farting and carrying on. All of a sudden your body appreciates a good good food, good diet. And that's just basically some of the things I eat, and these are the things I avoid because they're just so bad. I eat them, I'm in a mess. Not that I eat them anymore. Not that I did eat them a lot before, but I just think more than anything, fasting has given me my life back. My voice is nearly back. So from being super healthy to flicking a switch and ending up as just totally defenceless. I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, struggled to see, and I've got bad hearing anyway. And I just think that fasting saved my life. And when I was walking out of the hospital ward, I still had a lot of trouble walking at that stage. It was only 10 days. And then I looked back at this other younger fella who came in there before me, and he was just being spoon-fed, and he's just twisted up. You know, obviously he didn't have a very bright future, and it just made me more than ever think that, you know, I was probably lucky that I didn't have anything to eat. My body had repair time or something, I don't know. But fasting, it's worth a look at. There's plenty written up on it, plenty of stories done about it. Something to consider. Okay, thank you. Yep, that's it, done. Bye.